All right, we are joined by the Alamogordo Athletic Training Program. We've got 4 student athletic trainers and a athletic trainer herself. Misa Tran is here with us. She joins, is this your second year here at HS?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And of course, you were a student athletic trainer as well, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay. How are you, Misa?
I'm good.
Good, okay. Glad to have you here. You want to introduce the 4 that you brought with you today?
Yeah, so I have 3 seniors and 1 junior. We have our 2 head student athletic trainers, Danielle Bedgood and Olivia Goodier. And then we have our 2 captains, Lexie Nelson and Alejandra Amaya.
All right.
All 4 very dedicated to this program and working hard and ready to go to state next week.
Yeah, and very busy as well, because I know we've been trying to schedule this interview for a few weeks, and because of everybody's schedules being so busy, it's been kind of challenging. So, ladies, how are you today?
Good.
Good? Okay, that's what we like to hear. Well, Misa, I mean, first off, I mean, how has it been? You're 2 years into being an athletic trainer at a high school. Have you been enjoying it?
Yeah, it's been good. I will say these students are a big part of my job here, sometimes even more so than the athletes. And so having them around makes my job a lot easier, and it makes my job a lot more fun. And while I teach them things, they teach me a lot too. So it's cool. So we get to learn from each other and grow, and they constantly have me laughing and making memories, so I enjoy it. And
going from being in their position not that long ago to being where you are now, do they kind of ask you questions about, things that, if their eventual goal is to become an athletic trainer, become something, do you feel like they come to you and ask those kind of questions?
Yeah, I think they're all very well versed in what it takes to become an athletic trainer. They're all familiar with the process, whether that they're choosing to make that their next step or not is different between every individual, but yeah, they all know what it takes, and I would argue that they are ahead of some college students with the amount of stuff that we teach them. So yeah, they ask me lots of questions. I try to answer them best I can. David helps out too, so yeah.
Absolutely. All right, very good. Well, Danielle, first, I mean, you're a senior this year, right?
I am.
Okay, just want to make sure. I know we were raising hands earlier and we were a little confused on all that. Anyway, that was before we went on there. Anyway, inside joke, I guess. But for everything that you feel like you've learned and you're getting ready to go off to college, what has this program meant to you in terms of getting you ready for what's next?
It's really just opened my eyes to just proving even more that I want to still keep going into the medical field, and I feel like it's definitely given me a step up for anyone else that's going in. I already have all this big background of anatomy and everything. So.
All right, very good. Excited for state?
Very excited for state.
All right, so what's the preparation been like? What's the biggest thing that you've been trying to focus on to get ready for next week?
So we've been really focusing on just mostly content, because we have 2 specific parts of the body that we've been working on, the knee and the elbow. So we've been mostly just trying to pretty much cram everything we can about it, whatever we think the test maker is going to be pulling it from, whatever, and get it all just laid out, anything that we think we might need, anything we think might be on there, but even if it's not, we want to make sure we have that little bit in our heads. And actually, Olivia and I have been teaching most of the study sessions, so we've been learning as we're teaching to all of our other ATs.
How is that? I mean, that's something, obviously, you're getting an opportunity to not only, you have to learn the material in order to be able to pass it along to someone else. That made it even better for you able to soak that in? For
me, it's definitely made it where it definitely sinks in better, because I'm, saying, this is what this is, and I'm like, okay, that's what that is. So it's definitely been helping me too.
Yeah. Do you have great appreciation for your teachers and all the stuff they have to go through?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
1,000% I do.
It's one of those things, I'm sure that until you actually do it, you don't really know what all the stuff that they have to do to get ready. So, all right, very good. Olivia, how about you? I mean, what has that been like? I mean, to be somebody who's teaching your fellow students, have you enjoyed that?
I mean, my dad's a teacher, so it's second nature to me.
Okay.
To be able to do that, and I help out in his classroom. So like Danielle said, it's made learning a lot easier, because to be a good teacher, you have to know the content yourself. And so it's really helped Danielle and I grow, and then help our fellow students be able to grow as well.
All right, very good. And do they respect you as teachers? They pay attention and all that good stuff?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, that's what we like to hear. Sometimes when it's your fellow student, it's a little challenging there. How's the preparation been for state? I mean, obviously you talked about helping the other ATs as well, but what's been the big things you've been trying to do to get ready? Because you've gone through, how many state competitions is this now?
This will be my 4th.
Okay, so you have at least an idea of what's coming up and things that, they're going to throw different things at you, so it's not going to be the same as last year's test, but it's I would imagine you at least have an idea of what the process is going to be like.
Oh yeah, for sure. This year they've actually changed the way that we're doing state. So instead of a standardized test format, we're gonna do a Kahoot as a team. So we're all in one device, and so the practicals are the same. But this year we get to kind of collaborate more as a team on the test portion itself, rather than doing the really long 150 question tests by ourselves and then having to average that score. So I feel like it's been nice because we get to more share the wealth with our knowledge, rather than have to all each really, really cram hard, so we can work on it more as a group rather than individually.
I have to mention, it makes it more fun. I mean, one of those things, sitting there and taking 150 question tests is just doing what you're talking about is a Kahoot, which for those that don't know, I mean, it's basically like playing a game essentially. And I mean, you have to know the things, but it seems like it's more of a team activity and a more enjoyable thing. Is that fair to say?
Oh yeah, 100%. We won a competition earlier in January, and that was also a Kahoot format, and it was just so fun to win and work with the other girls. And so I really enjoyed that. So I'm glad that state is like that this year.
And I know if David was here, he'd talk about the competitive juices getting going. And I would have to imagine it's the competitive part. Not to say that Misa, I'm sure you're competitive too, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Not quite as competitive as David. Yeah, but still competitive, yeah.
Yeah. Do you find that that's kind of fun? It kind of raises the competitiveness of it?
Yeah, David said earlier, he was like, I don't know what you guys want more, to beat Gadsden or to win? And Danielle and I were both like, yes. Yes.
As long as one comes with the other, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he'll throw shade at them. If they're sitting around in the morning doing nothing, he's like, I wonder what Gadsden's doing right now. Probably studying, right? So he makes sure that they're working hard.
And it should be noted, it's all in good fun. Because I know David and the athletic trainer down at Gadsden are very, very good friends. Yes. And David worked with him at one point, right?
Yes, David was his student when he was in college. So Joe Mota was his preceptor. For a semester at Gadsden. So
we don't want to make anybody out there think that there's some bad blood going on.
It's super fun, friendly competition.
Yeah, that's the most important part. Lexie, I mean, talk about being a captain and getting named that this year. Was that kind of an exciting thing for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was a hard thing to wrap around my head, I guess, because I was one of the youngest ones that tried to become a captain, and then when I got it, Olivia and Danielle were really, really supportive over it, and they were trying to guide me in the best ways they could, and I guess I had to step up because from freshman year till now, I've just, went from a shy little girl to a captain for my team, so...
I think they're laughing because you probably aren't that shy around them, are you?
No.
Not at all.
Talk about your preparation. What have you been doing to get ready for state next week? What's been the big things personally that you've been trying to focus on?
All of it, honestly. Whenever I'm able to go to study with them, I'm working as hard as I can, trying to also keep it fun and enjoyable for everyone. But even when I'm home alone, I'll do little quizzes by myself when I'm doing nothing, because I guess I just am trying to work myself to the best.
Yeah. Do you like it's moved to the Kahoot part?
Love it. Yeah.
Okay.
So much better.
Okay. I feel like this is a very popular move that the state has made here.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Misa, I mean, for somebody, you did the practical back when they had the state competition.
Yeah.
Are you liking that they're moving to this?
I do. I think that, these kids work so hard year round and give themselves selflessly to other teams, right? We're there before other teams get there for their games or practices, right? And then we're there after they've already left. So this is the one thing that we're really doing for ourselves, and they truly give 110% effort. But with that comes the fact that they're not with their families, right? And when you look at it, they are just kids, and they do still have families at home that are waiting for them in the evenings. And so I love it because parents can now come watch, and it's much more enjoyable than kind of sitting outside a room that's being proctored while your kid takes a 150 question test, right? That's just not fun. And then the practical rooms are also private, so parents can't go in there as well. So now there's, in El Paso, where we recently competed for 2 years now, their parents have been able to come watch while they do the Kahoot. And it's amazing to see them blown away by their kids, because they're they know this stuff, right? And I'm yeah, I swear we're not wasting your kids' time, right? They're amazing. These girls pick up on so many things. And so I think it's a nice change because it allows them to show off what they work so hard for. So I like it.
Lexie, do they get to cheer you on while you guys are doing it and stuff like that? I mean, is it a game show atmosphere kind of thing that's going on, or?
I mean, it could be, but most of the time I feel the parents are quiet and they're just class, like in the corner. They're
Yeah, it's like a
they're not
silent
ever
cheer.
screaming, but
We need to get them
inside
fired
they
up.
are.
Yeah. We need to make this happen to where it's like a rowdy atmosphere and stuff like that.
We're
you know?
usually
We'll
more
bring a
fired up
blowhorn.
than-
A blowhorn.
I tell you what, that's a whole lot of fun. That it seems like they've made a good move in order to be able to get. I mean, because you guys are there on the sidelines watching, the athletes and with big crowds at times and things like that. I think it's cool that you guys have that opportunity now, or at least more of that opportunity to kind of get to take the spotlight. Is that fun for you?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay. And you excited for the? We talked a lot about the Kahoot part of it, but the practical part of it is obviously something that stuff that you do every single day as a student athletic trainer.
Mm-hmm.
Is it more challenging when you know you're doing it for a test, or is it all good?
Yes, it's as a practical, it's a lot harder. Like when you're getting tested on, like if I'm doing it in front of Misa or Olivia or Danielle, and they're just like helping me through whatever, it's totally fine. But in those moments, they're just not judging you, but judging you. Assume you're doing it right. So I guess you kind of just get the jitters with it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that you will do just fine coming up next week. So
Thank you.
it'll be great. Alejandra, how about you? I mean, what's been the preparation like for state for you? Have you really enjoyed the process?
Olivia and Danielle I think they're like the best teachers ever because like they're learning the material themselves as the same time as they're basically like learning themselves, like how Danielle just basically explained. It's great to be in that small weight room and being on the whiteboard or like doing the quizzes on like the TV. It's a great atmosphere to be in while studying.
Yeah, and I would also say, I mean, certainly as a group, I mean, we see you all pretty much at all sporting events, but the camaraderie among the student athletic trainers seems to be really good. Do you notice that? I mean, I know you're part of a powerlifting team and you do some other stuff at Alamogordo High School. Talk a little bit about the camaraderie among the ATs. Or the SATs, I should say.
I love AT. This has been my life since freshman year. I'm super dedicated to this, and they are as well. And we support each other in no matter anything we do. Like, they support me when I go throw at track or when I go to state for powerlifting. Everyone's super supportive, and it's just a great atmosphere to be around.
Okay, very good. What is the most enjoyable part about being a student athletic trainer? What do you enjoy the most about being out there?
I love being able to help the athletes and also bond with my fellow ATs too. I can't even put into words. It's so amazing.
Yeah. What's the most challenging part of it? I mean, obviously there's some things you have to deal with, whether it's cleaning up stuff or
that's
just
the easy part.
That's the easy part. Okay, no big deal then. What's the most challenging part of it then?
I guess learning the material, like insertions, origins of the muscles, the ligaments, all like the attention to detail stuff. That's where like the cranial nerves. Oh my goodness, I'm so but it's just when you have a great team that's willing to put in the effort to work and put in hard work, not like bare minimum. We're gonna get stuff done.
There's a lot of stuff in the neck too. I've heard that's kind of complicated as well.
The brachial plexus.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you tell they work hard?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, I mean, she knew right away.
She's just showing off now.
Yeah. Lexie, what do you find to be the most enjoyable thing about doing this?
I think it's the student athletic trainers themselves. Like through like the past 3 years, because I've only been in the program for 3 years, it's just been like this growth spurt of becoming friends with every single one of them in our own ways. And I've got some of my strongest friends from this program. So that's my favorite. It's just the girls.
Yeah. What do you find to be the most challenging part of it?
Clean up.
Clean up?
I'm just not a clean up kind of person.
Yeah.
I'll do everything else, but cleaning up is not for me.
Yeah. I was going to say, and with sports sometimes there's, it's sweaty, smelly kind of things and stuff like that. So, yeah. There's especially like being on a bus with sweaty, smelly athletes and things like that, right? Yeah.
That's why we take the Suburbans.
Olivia, how about you? What have you enjoyed the most about being a part of this program?
I know it's cheesy, but yeah, it's definitely the people. Like, I love these girls so much, and like I spend almost every single second of every single day with them, and I just love them so much. And like, it's so wonderful getting to see people like Lexie and Alejandra and even Danielle grow and become the wonderful, like, amazing young women that they are today. And I'm just so grateful that I get to watch that happen and be friends with them.
All right. And challenging? I mean, what's maybe the part that sometimes is kind of like you roll your eyes that you have to do sometimes? At least there's got to be at least one thing, right?
I don't know. I'm not big on rehab.
Okay.
I know that rehab is so important, but to me it's just so tedious. There's so much happening. We always have like 6 minimum people, like during first hour, during 7th, that Misa and David are trying to juggle, and I don't enjoy that.
Okay. It's part, I mean, there's always something that's part of a job that, and let's be honest, this is a job, Misa, for these ladies. I mean, this is as close in high school. I mean, and I know we're starting to move towards having more job-like skill stuff at the high school, but for a while there, I mean, the athletic trainers were, I mean, that's the one where you could see the most practical, hey, you can do this in 4 or 5 years after college.
Right.
Yeah.
They're good at helping out with rehab and doing all the perks of the job. Because, I mean, they do the setup, they do the cleanup, which is obviously a huge load off of mine and David's shoulders. But they're genuinely interested in learning, right? And I think it's cool because one person's strength is another person's weakness, but they realize that, right? And they'll not necessarily like call each other out for it, but say like, hey, I can help you with this if you'll help me with this, right? And so I think that really helps us when it comes to our success, is that we're well-rounded, but it's because we have that like honesty with ourselves and honesty with each other. But yeah, I mean, even with rehabs, like if I say, hey, Olivia, can you get me a heat pack for so-and-so and put it on their low back? Like, she's not going to look at me and just like not do it, right? She's like, yeah, sure. Like, she's going to go and do it, right? And so, these 4 girls specifically, you know, they work so hard, and I'm very appreciative of everything they do because they make my life a lot more bright and sunshiny. So I appreciate them.
Yeah, and I imagine, Olivia, it's just not quite as action packed as the other things that you do. It's not that you dislike it. It's just there's not as much going on, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay. We just want to make sure people understand that she's not, dumping on anything like that.
She's just tired of 4-way ankle. That's all. We all are.
What's 4-way ankle?
4-way ankle is like very basic range of motion exercise we do when someone has some sort of foot or ankle injury, right? And you go into dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, inversion, and eversion with your ankle, right? Range of motion, you're just doing it without a band, but when you want to get some range of motion and strength as you progress, you'll add that band. And so some directions, it's hard for an athlete to hold that band while doing the exercise properly. So I'll say, hey, can you get in there and hold this? And there's like nothing more boring than sitting on a stool and holding a band while someone like cranks their ankle in the same direction 30 times, right?
Down, up,
yeah. So like I get why she would do it, because it can be very monotonous sometimes. But there's also times in the hallway where it's like, hey, who wants to play catch or something, right? And I'll throw Lexie in the hallway with an athlete, and I have them on an unstable surface, and she's like throwing the ball in every direction for them to be off balance but still stay on that one leg. So they have fun.
Okay.
It's not always boring.
I was going to say, for as bright and happy as these ladies are, it's not like this is a terrible thing that they're doing. So yeah. Danielle, how about you? I mean, what have you found most enjoyable to be a part of the program?
It's honestly, it's a gap session every time. No matter what you're working, whether you're at track, you're at football, you're at baseball, we're just studying. We're all just hanging out as friends. That's all it really is, with that job on top of it. And then, of course, in the medical aspect of it, I love learning anything new about medicine because it's really just a passion of mine. So,
challenging part of it. I mean, you're going to go with Olivia, or you get something else that is kind of like, if I didn't have to do that, that would be okay.
Challenging. I don't mind rehab. Challenging is more like the schedule. That can be a challenge sometimes, but doing it for as long as I have, and then as long as everyone else has, you get a hang of it. So it's really not too bad.
Yeah, Misa, I mean, that's something I hope, because the athletic trainers and student athletic trainers are kind of on the sidelines. People may not see them. They don't realize how many hours that these ladies put in. Because, I mean, it's especially like when football season starts and it's 6 a.m. practices. I mean, they're out there for that. If it's 2-a-days, they're out there in the afternoon when it's hot. So, I mean, it can be a real grind, especially when you throw in road games and things like that, right?
Yes. There are times where, we go on a road trip on Friday night, and then the next morning we have soccer, right? And again, where someone else has like a weakness or maybe a time scheduling conflict or whatever, right? Someone else is always in pickup. Like if I have someone that says, hey, I can't make it to the game, I can call any of these 4 girls and several others, and they're like, yeah, I'll be there, right? And so there have been times where we come back Friday night at 2 a.m. from Los Lunas or something, and then we have a soccer game at like 9 a.m., right? And we're all up and early going at it again. So I don't think people realize the time commitment. I would argue that they commit more time than some weeks I did even in college, right? Which is, you have a lot of clinical hours when you're in college trying to get your degree for this. but they're out there and they're happy nonetheless. You know, no matter what time of day it is, like they show up and they work hard and they learn how to have fun even when there's tasks, which I think is cool, right? Because it's one of those things that we're instilling in them now is like, it's not a job if you love it, right? Like if you love what you're doing, you're not going to be like unhappy working. So,
well, you throw in the other part about it as well is, you know, these kids, you know, they're students as well. I mean, they've got their other subjects that they're focusing on in school. So I mean, there's homework, there's papers to be written, there's all that stuff. So I mean, that extra time is taken away from what could be used on that or time with family.
Right. Well, and these girls are overachievers too. So they're in the AP classes. Some of them work. Alejandra's in college, right? So it's like we have people who are already overachieving in so many areas of their life. And this, like, you think this takes up so much time. It's like they somehow manage to fit everything else in there too, which is amazing. You know, I think they're very flexible and they learn to adapt, which is a really good life skill. So.
And you know what that's like. You were doing a million things when you were in high school, like that. Right?
Yeah.
Just a few. You were doing just a few things back
just a
in
couple,
the day. Yeah, just one or two. Danielle, I mean, what kind of other things outside of the student athletic training program are you involved in some other stuff over there at the high school?
Nothing else at the high school. AT is pretty much like my main thing, and then of course my classes. I don't have very many as a senior this year, but outside of the high school, this fall I started volunteering at a fire department with my brothers. I had to kind of take a step back from that this semester just because I was getting busy with state and all my other classes. I just want to make sure I did well in my finals, but besides that, it's just mostly just spending time with my family and getting all that done.
Yeah. What did you learn at the fire or volunteering in the fire department?
Just like learning the stuff on the trucks. My dad and my brother has been doing it forever, so I just kind of want to see step into their world for a little bit, and it's cool seeing all the different things.
Okay. And I know we've probably talked about this previously, but since you're a senior and you're getting ready for graduation, what is coming up next for you?
So this fall I'm going to be going to NMSU for genetics and biotechnology and pre-med.
Okay. With the goal of eventually going where?
Med school, being a doctor.
Med school. Okay. And what specialty are you aiming for?
I'm stuck between two, so emergency medicine or trauma surgery.
Okay. So you're really preparing yourself for having no sleep and all that good stuff.
Yes, exactly.
You're easing yourself into it right now, and you'll be fine when you get to it later.
Exactly.
Olivia, how about you? What's coming up next?
So I'm going to be attending Texas Tech in the fall, and I'm currently awaiting an interview to get into their undergraduate athletic training internship program.
Okay. And what's the eventual plan? It sounds like, obviously you'll be focusing on athletic training. Mm-hmm. Is the medical field, what are you planning on doing next?
I'd like to be an athletic trainer for the WWE. That's something I'm really interested in, and one of my uncle's friends is the head athletic trainer for the WWE, so that's something that it's one of my niche interests. Awesome. And so that's something I'd love doing.
I think that's one of the more unique answers I've ever heard. So that's fantastic. I'm a big WWE fan, so I'll be excited to see you eventually here in about 5-10 years. You'll be there, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. You'll be taking care of all the professional wrestlers. I like that. Lexie, how about you? What's coming up next for you after high school?
I'm going to leave for Arizona. My whole family is moving there because a lot of my family already does. And I'm going to start online for GCU and slowly do that with myself. And then my mom, she's a really good real estate agent. And as a kid, I would just always go to the houses and explore them with her. So I really want to go into real estate. Okay. So she's going to be like my mentor because she has a management position there.
Okay. So you're just enjoying doing the student athletic training, not going into the medical field after this.
I just can't do blood like that.
Okay.
I can do little cuts, but as soon as I see a whole heart, no.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think so.
Fair enough. That's perfectly fine. Alejandra, how about you? What's coming up next after high school? Since you're already in college, it sounds like.
So hopefully I'll be graduating with the associates, and then I'll go straight to NMSU in Cruces, and I don't know. I know I want to go into kinesiology, but I just don't know where I'm going to end up at. Yeah. I'm thinking about strength and conditioning, becoming like a coach, and working maybe like in the big leagues, like for like the NFL, or even like at a college, like anywhere. I just want to be around lifting. I love that so much.
Yeah. Speaking of course, you just came back from state where did you finish third at state? Yeah. How was that? I mean, first state competition like that. What was that experience like for you?
There was so much people there. The difference between this year's and last year's state, different atmosphere. There was so much more girls competing, and glad and proud that they were competing. They're like, oh, I'm just a girl, I can't lift that much weight. There was girls, like, they were peeing their pants. There was all kinds of people, like, passing out. Like, they gave it their all at state, and they were pulling some really big numbers. And it's just amazing seeing all those girls getting out their comfort zone and pulling big numbers.
Awesome. Very good. Lexie, I didn't ask you. I mean, are you involved in some other things over at the school, or is it maybe student athletic training that you've been focused on more than...
I'm really focused on athletic training, but I also have a job, if that counts.
That definitely counts.
So I have a job, and then occasionally on Sundays, if I'm not working, I'm helping at my church as like a little helper for the kids.
Okay, very good. All right, where are you working at?
Pizza 9.
All right, very good. Hey, shout out to Pizza 9. We love Pizza 9 here, so that's definitely fun. Olivia, how about you? Outside of student athletic training, you have other things you're busy with?
It's mostly just athletic training, but I'm also the student ex officio on the school board, so I represent all of the student body in Alamogordo Public Schools, and I present at every single board meeting.
Yeah. What's that experience been like for you?
It's a little bit I was nervous when I first started because obviously I'm like on video and I'm presenting to a bunch of people who are way older than me and like, to be honest, don't know that much about what's going on at the school, so like that's my job to tell them what's happening. So it made me nervous at first, but now it's just like second nature. Like I go up there and I talk about sports, I talk about what's happening at the high school, talk about state competitions, stuff like that.
Okay, very good. Misa, I mean, you and David and all the athletic trainers, I mean, what's the big goal, obviously, in terms of preparation for next Monday? You feel like everybody's really prepared?
Yeah, we're going for blue. We're excited. They've worked hard, and honestly, like, at the end, I'll be proud of them no matter what, and so will David. But it's nice to have something that shows for all your hard work. And I definitely think we're capable. We were only a couple points shy last year out of 800 points total. We were off by 29. And then the third place team was like 200 points behind us out of 800. So really, it was just neck and neck with Gadsden. And so we got that friendly competition going. But we're funny. We make fun of the girls because when Gadsden comes to visit us during football or we visit them, we're like, make sure you bow down to the champs.
Oh, gosh.
So
just trying
next
to
year,
needle them a little bit.
Well,
right?
we're maybe Gadsden will get to bow down to us next year. We'll see.
They better.
No, they're excited.
Where is the competition this year?
It's in Las Cruces. We're going to have it at Las Cruces High School. Okay. Drew Flores and Callie Larson were nice enough to host us there. So they're the athletic trainers over there, and they do a phenomenal job. And David and I love them as colleagues and friends. So we're excited. They have great new facilities over there. I think we're going to be using their auditorium for the Kahoot part of it. And then for the practical, we'll probably go into a couple classrooms. That way we can run several practicals at a time. But I think, how many teams are going? 20?
It's us, it's all the Christian schools.
Yeah, I think there's like 20 teams total, but I don't think it's 20 schools because each.
I think maybe 10. I know a lot of the southern schools are not going to be coming down.
We have the smallest.
Or the northern
schools.
Sorry.
Everyone else has about 3 teams competing. We have
okay,
2.
yeah, and then we're competing 2 teams and then 1 individual. So we're going to compete Liliana Amaya as an individual, which she won the SCADA competition in El Paso back in January, all by herself as a freshman.
Wow.
So she is feeling good going into this. I think that gave her a big boost in confidence. And we're kind of like, she has the rest of her high school experience to compete as a team. But we're like, hey, it's the first year we're doing individual competition at state, which is the same thing as team, right? You're just competing alone. It's all the same tests, all the same categories and stuff. But we're like, why not? Like, she just killed it in El Paso. She's going to do great in Las Cruces. So we're excited because that's also a new component, and she'll be representing us in that. And I believe it's just us in Las Cruces that entered individuals into the competition. So
it'll be these 4 on one team and then another 4 on another team?
It'll be, Lexie is on the other team, so these 3 are on the same team.
Okay.
Plus Bella. And then it's Lexie, Tony, and
Frida
and Brittany on the other. So
very good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to see what happens next Monday, and we certainly wish you all the best of luck and enjoy the rest of the season. I know you guys are going to be busy all the way up till graduation. I have no doubt. So
yes.
All right. Thanks, ladies, for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.